Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Today we are going to discuss about endosperm. Before going to see the endosperm, you have to know about the post fertilization structure and events. In many angiosperm, there are several changes takes place in the flowering plants after fertilization. What are the events takes place after fertilization means? Number 1, endosperm formation, embryo development, formation of seeds and fruits. After fertilization is taken place, many changes takes place in the flowering plants. The first one is endosperm formation. The second one is embryo development, and third one is formation of fruits and seeds. Now we are going to discuss about the endosperm formation in detail. Endosperm. Endosperm is nothing but a tissue which is produced inside the seeds after fertilization. Endosperm is nothing but a tissue which is produced inside the seeds after fertilization in angiosperm. Okay? And then the primary endosperm nucleus, in short it is called as PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, divides immediately after fertilization to form endosperm before the development of zygote. Once again I am repeating, the primary endosperm nucleus divide immediately to form endosperm after fertilization. Now I am going to draw the structure of embryo sac. Okay? This is the structure of embryo sac, and this part is called antipodal end, and this is called polar nuclei, and this is called synergids. This is called egg. This is the structure of an embryo sac. Okay? And when the pollen tube enters, the pollen tube contains two male gamete. You know very well. One of the male gamete fused with the egg to form a zygote. Once again I am repeating, once the male gamete enters, it fused with the egg nuclei to form a zygote. The second one, the second egg nuclei. The second one, the polar nuclei fused with another male gamete. Okay, second one, the second male gamete fused with the polar nuclei to form primary endosperm nucleus. That fusion is called triple fusion. Once again I am repeating, pollen tube contains two male gamete. One male gamete fused with the egg to form a zygote. Second one, the second male gamete fused with the polar nuclei. This is the polar nuclei. The second male gamete fused with the polar nuclei to form primary endosperm nucleus. This primary endosperm nucleus on further division, mitotic cell division, to produce this endosperm. Can you get it? Yes. The primary endosperm nucleus results of triple fusion. Triple fusion is nothing but the male gamete has n number of 1n haploid condition. Two polar nuclei, one polar nuclei have haploid, another one polar nuclei have haploid. These two fused together, one male gamete and two polar nuclei fused together to form a primary endosperm nucleus. This is triploid in nature. Okay. And the formed endosperm is a nutritive tissue. It provides the nourishment to the developing embryo. It gives strength, it gives food to the developing embryo. It is a nutritive tissue, and also it regulates the formation of development of zygote. Okay. Depending upon the mode of development, three different types of endosperms are exist. The first one is said to be nuclear endosperm, second one is said to be cellular endosperm, and third one is said to be halobial endosperm. Once again I am repeating, depending upon the mode of development, three different types of endosperms are exist. The first one is called a nuclear endosperm, second one is called a cellular endosperm, and third one is called halobial endosperm. Clear? The first one, a nuclear endosperm. As I said, the primary endosperm nucleus, PEN, the primary endosperm nucleus further divides into, mitotic division takes place, it produces endosperm. Okay. See here, the primary endosperm nucleus undergoes several mitotic cell division without the formation of cell wall. That type of endosperm is said to be nuclear endosperm. Only the nucleus undergoes mitotic cell division, but there is no formation of cell wall. That type of endosperm is said to be nuclear endosperm. Once again I am repeating, the primary endosperm nucleus, in short it is called as PEN, primary endosperm nucleus. This PEN undergoes several mitotic cell division, but without the formation of cell wall. The type of endosperm is said to be a nuclear endosperm. This nuclear endosperm is seen in Arachis type of plant. See the diagram here. These are the nucleus, free nucleus, which is present inside the cell. There is no formation of cell wall. No cell wall takes place. So this type of endosperm is said to be nuclear endosperm. Clear? Next, second one is cellular endosperm. The primary endosperm nucleus divides into two nuclei. See here, the PEN divides into two nuclei and immediately followed by cell wall formation. Such type of endosperm is said to be cellular endosperm. Once again I am repeating, the primary endosperm nucleus divides into two nuclei followed by the formation of cell wall. Such type of endosperm is said to be cellular endosperm. Example is Helianthus. See here, this is a structure of endosperm. Each nucleus divide mitotically. Again, subsequently the formation of cell wall takes place. Both karyokinesis and cytokinesis takes place. Such type of endosperm is said to be cellular endosperm. Clear? The third one is halobial endosperm. This is the combination, this type of endosperm is said to be the combination of both nuclear endosperm and cellular endosperm. The first one, the primary endosperm nucleus PEN divides into two nuclei. See here, initially the PEN moves towards the embryo sac and divides into two nuclei. Cell wall formation takes place, leading to the formation of large micropylar end and a small chalazal chamber. Once again I am repeating, the PEN moves towards the embryo base of the embryo sac and divides into two nuclei. Cell wall formation takes place, leading to the formation of large micropyle and a small chalazal chamber. The free nucleus, the nucleus of micropyle chamber undergoes several free nuclear division, whereas the nucleus of the chamber, chalazal chamber, do not have the formation of cell wall. Only one, the nucleus of the micropylar chamber undergoes mitotic cell division, whereas chalazal chamber may not undergo any division. Such type of endosperm is said to be halobial endosperm. It is a combination of cellular endosperm as well as nuclear endosperm. Once again I am repeating, halobial endosperm, the primary endosperm nucleus moves towards the base of the embryo sac and divides into two nucleus or two nuclei. Cell wall formation takes place. One nuclei have a cell wall formation. Cell wall formation takes place, leading to the formation of a large micropylar end. This is a micropylar end and small chalazal end, end chamber. The nucleus of the micropylar chamber, only the nucleus of the micropylar chamber undergoes mitotic cell division, whereas the nucleus of the chalazal chamber will not undergo any cell division. Okay. This type of endosperm is said to be halobial endosperm. Example, Hydrella and Vallisneria. This Hydrella and Vallisneria are the hydrophytes. Clear? Next one, the functions of endosperm. As I said earlier, Endosperm is a nutritive tissue. It provides the nourishment to the developing embryo. The same, that is the main function. It is a nutritive tissue. It provides the nourishment. It supplies food for the developing embryo. And then second one, in majority of angiosperm, zygote divides only after the development of endosperm. The next one, endosperm also regulate the development of zygote. So, these are the main functions of endosperm. Clear? Next we move on to the next topic, structure of a dicot seed. A mature seed are attached to the fruit wall by a stall called funiculus. Later on, this funiculus leaving a scare-like structure called xylem. Xylem is nothing but a small scare-like structure which is seen in the dicot seed. Below the xylem, a small pore called micropyle. That micropyle is very important for the entry of oxygen and water to the developing seed. Once again I am repeating, below to the xylem, a small pore like structure called micropyle, and this micropyle is very important to the seed. Okay. See the structure of dicot seed, and this is the entire structure of seed. The outer coat, the hard outer coat of the seed is called testa. Seed coat, hard seed coat is called testa. Okay. See the entire structure. This part is called radicle. This radicle give rise to a root system. Okay. So, this is the seed open structure. The outer coat is called, hard outer coat is called testa, and this is the radicle. It is also called as embryonal axis. It arises in the embryonal axis, and this part is called plumule. This plumule give rise to the formation of shoot system. Okay. See here, next one, the micropyle facilitates the entry of oxygen and water into the seeds during germination. During germination, the micropyle end, this is the micropyle end. Okay. They have small pore like structure, the small pore. In that pore, the micropyle facilitates the entry of oxygen as well as water to the developing seed. Okay. Below to this xylem, the micropyle end is present, micropyle, the pore like structure. This micropyle facilitates the entry of water and oxygen to the developing seeds. Okay. Next one, each seed has thick outer covering called seed coat. The whole seed is covered by a outermost covering called seed coat. The seed coat, the outer coat is called testa, and the inner coat is called tegmen. The outer sheet coat is called testa and a thin inner sheet coat is called tegmen. Clear? The next one, in pea plant the testa and tegma are fused together. There is no differentiation of testa and tegmen in the pea plant. And then two cotyledons are laterally attached to the embryonal axis. This is called embryonal axis. The portion of embryonal axis projecting beyond the cotyledon is said to be the radicle. This is the cotyledon. Here two cotyledon is there. So, it is said to be dicotyledon. The portion beyond the cotyledon is said to be the radicle. It gives rise to the root system. And then opposite to this radicle, this portion is called plumule. This gives rise to the formation of shoot system. Okay. The portion of embryonal axis projecting beyond the cotyledon is called radicle. The other end of the embryonal axis called embryonic shoot, also called as plumule. This plumule gives rise to the shoot system, formation of shoot. The embryonal axis above the level of cotyledon is called epicocyle, whereas the small cylindrical region between the cotyledon is called hypococyle. The epicocyle terminates in plumule, whereas the hypococyle terminates in radicle. Once again I am repeating, the epicocyle terminates in plumule, whereas hypococyle ends in the radicle. Thank you children, we will see in the next class.